This is a LEGO Brick Separator. Or is it? Cause this is the LEGO Brick Separator LEGO wanted you to forget. Now what was it that I was just holding there? Where did that come from? Well, this happened to be the original LEGO Brick Separator all the way back from 1990 and appeared in 17 sets over a 20-year period. That's less than one set a year. And at the end of the video, you'll realize that was for a good reason. Now, is this brick separator effective? Well, that's what we're gonna find out today when we do a series of tests with this original brick separator and the modern brick separator. The orange one, the one we know and love. So let's get right into it. Starting off, when you have a full base plate of tiles, it is very easy to just use this orange brick separator to get them loose enough to be disassembled. However, with the green brick separator, it can't even get a grip on the tiles. It just isn't even sharp enough to get underneath them to pull them apart. However, the orange brick separator is much sharper and it is very easy to get them off. Now we might be able to let this one slide because in the early days of LEGO they didn't really have as many tile pieces, so it can be kind of understandable why they wouldn't really have it designed for this. However, they sure did have studs, so when confronted with a full base plate of studs, let's see how the brick separators react. Now the orange brick separator can very efficiently separate the studs from the base plate. However, the green one can't even get a grip on the studs. This is extremely strange because studs actually have a much higher lip than the tile pieces, so the brick separator should be able to get under them, but it just can't. And at this point I flipped over the orange brick separator and now studs are flying everywhere. So not only can it separate tiles, it can't even separate studs. Well, what can this brick separator even do? Well, it can be used to compress pieces when you want them to be more firmly on another piece. We can see this example with these tiles here. Some of these tiles are not completely pressed down, but with the green brick separator, we can push on them to get them more attached. Or so it would seem. The green brick separator actually did nothing in this situation, and you can just press them down with your thumb. It seems that you really just can't get enough leverage with this green brick separator to push down tiles, especially when the tile gets bigger, it still just can't even do it. Now this is extra strange because the one specialty thing that the green brick separator has that the orange one does not is this little grip for your thumb. This makes it so the brick separator is very easy to use, however it is very uncomfortable to hold because of the many ridges underneath and on top of it. The modern brick separator has a counter to both of these elements, the thumb hole and the wedges, by having much smaller wedges that are farther apart so it is more comfortable to hold, and no wedges underneath. Additionally, where the little thumb container is, it has a Technic rod, which helps you separate Technic pins. The best you're going to do with the green one is just whack it a bunch of times and hope for the best. Now while all of these extra features that the orange brick separator can do are very nice, the most important thing it can do is separate normal LEGO pieces. So here I have a test with two blue pieces and we'll see which one can separate it better. The orange brick separator is very easy to use. You just push down on it and it pops off. When you press down on the green one, the piece just goes flying and doesn't stay with the brick separator. I thought this was just a special case with the one test that I did, so I did two other tests and the same exact thing happened. Now this is fundamentally down to how the brick separator's grip is built. The orange one is much more efficient and much better designed for holding onto LEGO pieces, while the green one uses a much older design that just can't get enough of a grip to make the piece stay when it separates. You would think that the size of the green one would be an advantage in some way, but it actually inhibits the use. The orange brick separator can actually be used to align studs, because the brick separator is built to scale with the studs of normal LEGO pieces. However, the green one is much more clunky and cannot be used for this at all. So yeah, I find it really interesting that this green brick separator fundamentally fails at every aspect of being a brick separator. However, I still really enjoy this brick separator. It's kind of like a piece of LEGO history. Not many people have this, and I'm very lucky to have found it. So there you have it, guys. That's my deep dive into the history of this green LEGO brick separator. I think you can understand why it was discontinued in 2011 and why we got our modern brick separator. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.